Hello out there. Welcome to the Heavy Montes podcast and my comedy show. Now in America, they are calling for the arrest of Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and Pete Hegseth. Gavin Newsom put some stuff out on them this morning. You see what I'm saying? Now the Supreme Court is saying that Donald Trump don't have immunity. Said that those crimes that he has been committing are crimes. We need to arrest that son of a bitch right now. You understand? He has broken the law and he has violated the Constitution. And now they're saying that they want to take and remove words, from the Head Start. They're actually trying to implement Project 2025. You understand, America? Now, I'm going to say something here, and I'm going to keep this podcast short because it don't need to be long. Donald Trump is a hardened criminal and a Russian traitor. You understand? In the opinion of Heavy Monte. He is a pervert that grabbed women by the private parts, and he needed to be just like Bill Cosby. They put Bill Cosby through that shit and have all these women that come and testify that he did something to them. You understand? And the Supreme Court said it was illegal. Said they couldn't bring those people, you understand, to testify. You know what I'm saying? And they had to drop the case against Bill Clinton. You understand? But we're talking, up against Bill Cosby. But we're talking, okay, America, about a white man, a racist. You know what I'm saying? A person who can become president, a low-down, dirty maggot dog, a criminal. You understand? He's a criminal, and you know he's a fucking criminal. He's a rapist, and you know he's a fucking rapist, huh? Civilly, at least. You understand? The judge said it. You understand? I believe all 27 of those women. I believe this motherfucker slept with small children. I believe it. You understand? And I'm going to believe it until he proved himself not to be a pedophile and show those records. You understand? Now, America, I want to talk about these maggot women. Lisa McClain. You see what I'm saying? The conference chair. They said they don't even let that bitch speak. You know what I'm saying? They said she's a handmaiden. You understand? They said they don't even let her talk. They said that she is a low-down, dirty maggot dog. And we in Michigan, I don't give a damn of what you think about the red states. You understand? This bitch ain't no Christian. She supported a man that may have raped your child. Each one of those women. Now, you give birth to children, and you're supposed to mother children. You're supposed to be the mother. You ain't no fucking motherly symphonic. I want your child, when she grows up, to remember that you're a fucking bitch. Who took, and sold the country out for a madman. Said you were a moderate. You understand? And we supported your ass. And you turn on us. And now you're trying to come back and tell us that you one of us and you ain't shit. You're a maggot. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Every woman in that Republican Party, who is elected right now are not fit to be in Congress because they sold women out for a madman, supported a rapist, they say. Supported a pedophile, they say. You understand? But you can understand one thing. Ghislaine Maxwell, she's a woman, and she was raping our children, they say. And I say the same goddamn thing about those Republican women. I don't trust the bastard. I wouldn't trust them with my child. You understand? We shouldn't even trust them with their own goddamn children for supporting Donald Trump. You understand? Pedophile protectors. A pedophile protector shouldn't have any goddamn own children. You understand? So, I want to talk about that. So, now I'm going to talk about those Uncle Toms. Clarence Thomas, modern day house slave. Brian Donald, you understand? And Tim Scott. You see, tell me he married. They say he's a closeted gay also, they say. I don't know how true it is. You understand? So his marriage is fucking fake. Just like those Republicans, they say they got fake marriages. Who the hell going to sleep with somebody like MAGA Mike? Somebody told me that his wee-wee is as small as a cocktail weenie. You know what I'm saying? No woman going to sleep with his ass. They said he's sleeping with a preacher. They said Marjorie Taylor Greene released all that sexual deviancy information that you have on them. Remember, you said you had a bunch of shit on them because they were trying to get Gates. Not America. We are calling for the arrest of Donald Trump. The Supreme Court said he don't have no immunity in a 7-1 decision. I just watched Barack Obama announce it just a while ago on a podcast, you see. So America, this is Heavy Monte saying never, ever vote for a Republican. And I want to go on to say that you can tell the end is near for a criminal president. Because if he had all the power that he had at one time, nobody would turn against his ass. But they can see clearly that the end is near and the final curtain for that pig. And he needs to be arrested and sent to Alligator Alley. What do you call that shit in Florida? You understand? Him, and all of them. You understand? We want the full investigation. I don't want to hear no shit out of any Republican senator that said that we can't investigate them because they're a senator. Because they try to pull that shit on Adam Schiff. You see what I'm trying to say? They try to pull all that shit, and Donald Trump right now is not the president of the United States. He's not. He's not our president. He said he was not. And I'm going to say something to you, America. You better get rid of Donald Trump and those Republican Party before war comes to America. Now, Canada is arranging to have 300,000 soldiers. They're building a fucking army. They're on our border. You understand? And Mexico, they're on our border. And none of these people attacked us. We attacked them first. Huh? You see what I'm saying? Greenland cut us off. We're in fucking trouble. You understand? And so the world right now is against America. We want our reputation back. And in order to get our reputation back, we need to get rid of that Republican Party and never ever, let them take and, be in power again. This dumb motherfucker talking about they want to get rid of fucking NATO. America, you don't even know if the fucking atomic bombs that we got fucking work. You don't know what the hell's going on. Right now, America is the same as Russia. You understand what I'm trying to say? They're giving the contracts to people. Shit don't work half of the fucking time. You understand? Everything's breaking down and shit. Food's expensive and stuff. We can't fight a goddamn war against Canada and Mexico and the whole fucking world, you dumbass. Because right now, there is no country in the world that is aligned with America. None. Zero. None. Who? Who's our ally? Who's going to back somebody like Trump? Nobody. He's worthless. Now you racist son of a bitches out there. The world see who you are, slave master. The world see that we have an ignorant population of Republicans that destroy the great nation for a person like Donald Trump. It's sad, America. Let's get rid of the motherfucker so we can come back. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're voting them out. You're doing a real good job. Vote out every Republican. Tell them they're going to gerrymander and they're going to cheat and they're going to stay in hell fucking no. The American people are going to join the sides of everybody to get rid of you motherfuckers because you guys don't love America. You're the enemy of the state. Now, you have a president that hate black women. You have a president in the Republican Party that hate women. You have a Republican Party that hate minorities. They don't like nobody. They are the enemy of God. You understand? The enemy of the American people. The Republican Party is more dangerous to America than Vladimir Putin, and China. Okay? Because the Republican Party is destroying the country from within. You see what I'm saying? War break out here, they'll slaughter you motherfuckers down the red stick like you ain't shit. You understand? You'll be crying. You better shut the fuck up and get on with the Democratic Party. You understand? Because they're going to fuck you guys up first. Because they got the people right there to do it. You understand? The people who run the red states are your fucking enemy. And they will kill you. I'll give you an example. They cut your goddamn food off. They allow a pedophile to rip your fucking children, they say. You understand? They allow this motherfucker to destroy NATO, and we alone, and Donald Trump alone will protect your ass when the bombs come. You understand? Terrorism coming to the state, to America. From its own fucking people, to be Republicans. The Republican Party is a domestic terrorist group. You see what I'm saying? They're laying pipe bombs and shit blamed it on fucking people, tore that fucking Capitol up, killed all those goddamn policemen, did all this shit. Donald Trump and his gang, they say raping fucking women and shit like that. And you motherfuckers are telling me that black people are bad? Huh? That gay people are bad? The bad people is the Republican Party. You understand? The motherfuckers are ashamed. Now I'll tell you a story. I had a bunch of MAGAT friends. Okay? I knew that I was in the hospital. I went to the Cancer Research Center to drop off a friend of mine. And a bunch of the maggots, came running up to me and my grandson. I told them to fuck off. You ain't my friend. You ain't my friend. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And I avoid them. Who in the hell want to hang around with a person that supported a rapist and tell them they're Christians? Huh? Who wants to do that? And I'm going to say something to you guys that maybe might be surprised. I don't think Donald Trump won the election. I don't think the American people, was that stupid. Anybody could see he had nothing to offer. Kamala was giving him all kind of shit. You know what I'm trying to tell you. And the women, with the abortion thing and all that stuff that was going on. If you voted for a Republican, you're a sick son bitch. You need to get some help. This is Heavy Monte for the Heavy Monte podcast and the Heavy Monte Comedy Show. Donald Trump, it will not be president for long. His ass is going to jail. You understand? Vance will have to retire. Because he's a Project 2025 people. They have no plans, okay, to run this country. You got to give it to the Democrats. The Republicans don't know how, America. Who in the hell, you understand, going to break up their alliance, the military alliance to help them? And the Republican Party is standing back, allowing this motherfucker to align himself with Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin days a number. They say when the war is over, his people are going to fuck him up. That's what they say. They say they're going to get him when the war is over. All of those dead people, and what are they going to do? You understand? When the war is over, Vladimir Putin is over. You understand? The Europeans ain't never going to trust that son of a bitch again. Now, I'll tell you one thing. We got to be real careful. Donald Trump, this dumb motherfucker, might deliver NATO into the hands of Vladimir Putin. And NATO and everybody over there becomes our enemy. You understand? Because Vladimir Putin can say, oh, I'm going to be with you guys. American fucking shit. Look at Donald Trump. Look what they did. And Vladimir Putin takes over the NATO alliance. You see? That's what he's headed for. You dumb motherfuckers. You endanger all of us with your racism and your misogyny and your fake Christian bullshit. We got to get these motherfuckers out of here, America. Huh? I'm talking about, they got to go. But I feel real good. The only thing that I'm worried about now is the rest of the world not trusting us and isolating us. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned that America might be dead. Seriously. I hope not. And then we got to get rid of the Republicans or we're not going to have a country, like Donald Trump said. Every day we wait, more and more of our enemies are plotting against us. You understand? And a matter of fact, a government like Donald Trump that have the enemy of all these people going to have to fight his own people. You understand? They have underground terrorism and shit. If Donald Trump trying to run this country, his own people are going to try to put him out. You know what I'm saying? So let's get rid of him. Okay? Put his ass in jail. Now, heavy prediction. Donald Trump is going to have to resign. And don't give him shit. He will stand trial at The Hague. He's a mass murderer. You understand? Along with his group, his Republican Party. You understand? This is everybody saying, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and never vote for a Republican and Donald Trump. Send that motherfucker to Florida. You understand? I'm trying to Alligator Alley. They call that shit. They said the Supreme Court said it's fine. So we can send all of them there. They built a concentration camp for themselves. Have a great day and never vote for a Republican.